Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Baker, Executive Director of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. Welcome to the Golden Kite Awards, where we get to celebrate wonderful, beautiful, important books by SCBWI members. This award celebration is open to everyone, so feel free to share this event with anyone you know who loves books for young readers. And this event kicks off SCBWI's virtual winter conference, which takes place all day tomorrow, February 22nd, with video replays available until March 28th. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, there are still some available, and you should come join us. Today we have so many amazing books to celebrate amongst the finalists and the honors and the winners, so we should get right to it. I am so thrilled to introduce Laurent Lynn, our host for the Golden Kites. Laurent is a spectacular author, illustrator, art director, SCBWI Advisory Council co-chair, and our board of directors president. Welcome, Laurent. Thank you for
And
being
thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Welcome. I am so excited to welcome you to the 52nd annual SCBWI Golden Kite Awards, 52 years. It is my honor and joy to be your host for this evening. Well, it's evening here in New York City where I am. So morning, afternoon, middle of the night, whatever it is where you are. And if it is like 4 a.m. where you are, let us be your excitement as you have that last cocktail for the evening, or you get up to milk the cows, or I don't know, whatever it is you might be doing at 4 a.m. We welcome all of you because we are live and we are global. The Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators has over 20,000 members around the world, and we are so excited to celebrate you and the important stories you are writing and illustrating, as well as the entire world of children's illustration and writing and translating and all of literature. And tonight, morning, afternoon, you get it, we will specifically be celebrating those literary works judged as finalists for the Golden Kite Awards. Founded in 1973, the Golden Kite Awards stand as the premier children's literary award judged exclusively by peers, making these awards truly unique in the world of children's literature. With over 1,000 books submitted annually by SCBWI members, which is remarkable and wonderful, the Golden Kite Awards recognize outstanding achievement in 7 categories. They are picture book text, picture book illustration, nonfiction text for younger readers, nonfiction text for older readers, middle grade fiction, illustrated books for older readers, which includes fiction and nonfiction graphic novels and illustrated books for middle grade and young adult, and also young adult fiction. And we will also be recognizing the winners of the Sid Fleischman Award for Humor. The Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators Golden Kite Awards and Sid Fleischman Award celebrate the best in children's storytelling, honoring excellence, creativity, and inspiration across many genres and all age groups of young readers. This year's finalists include stories of mystery, music, poetry, art, courageous civil rights leaders, one's identity, science, adventure, personal transformations, side-splitting humor, and so much more. But the one thing they all have in common is community, which is what SCBWI is all about. I cannot wait for you to hear more about all the finalists. Each category main winner will receive a prize of $2,500, while honor recipients are awarded $500. All winning books will be included in a press release as well as announced on the SCBWI website and social media channels. We will toot your horn everywhere. And all main award winners will receive a Golden Kite statuette to prominently place for all to see, as well as they will receive gold stickers to place on their books. And winners, you don't know who you are yet. None of us do. Well, I might know who you are, but when you get those statuettes, we want to see where you place your awards. That's always fun to see. And also for you and everyone else, remember that the official hashtag of the evening, well, of the awards, is hashtag SCBWIGK25. Hashtag SCBWIGK25. So please spread the word because these awards will be available to watch for all, as Sarah has mentioned. So congratulations to all the finalists, as well as all who entered their books. Being able to enter a published book that you created takes courage and dedication, and that is to be celebrated. And now, to read the guidelines and rules of the Golden Kite Awards, representing the law firm of Eeyore, Piglet, and Pooh is the one and only Beyonce. Wait, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Beyonce actually can't make it tonight. Actually, Beyonce was not even invited. And I'm being told to not say my pipe dreams out loud. Okay. Okay. Well, there goes the musical number. Sorry about that. But it's actually just as well because you'll be shocked to learn that there really is no law firm of Eeyore, Piglet, and Pooh. Can you imagine? I wouldn't trust them to represent me in court. Not that I need that. I don't want to mislead anyone. It's also just fine because the award guidelines and rules are posted on the SCBWI website for all to see. So don't worry, we don't need to read them after all. Although that would have been really amazing, but alas. So for those of you SCBWI members who will have eligible books to submit for the 2026 awards, please do, because all the guidelines are on the website, so you can figure out what you need to do. And so now, on to this year's awards, what we've all been waiting for. We will begin with the Sid Fleischman Award for Humor. Inaugurated in 2003, this award was created by SCBWI in honor of Newbery and Golden Kite winning author Sid Fleischman. The Sid Fleisch, also who is a friend to SCBWI as well. The Sid Fleischman Award is given to books that exemplify excellence in the genre of humor, which, as writers and illustrators know, is exceedingly difficult to do. And oh my, do we need humor right now? So we welcome these books. And here, for real, to present the 2025 Sid Fleischman Award for Humor is Martha Brokenbrough.
Hey, I'm Martha Brokenbrough, and I am so thrilled to be presenting the Sid Fleischman Award for Humor Writing. We've got 4 fantastically funny finalists: On a Wing and a Tear by Cynthia Leidick Smith, published by Heart Drum. This is an improbable road trip story about Melanie Roberts and Ray Halfmoon, 2 kids from different indigenous nations who, with the help of Ray's grandpa, are helping an elderly bat, yes, a bat, get ready for a rematch of the legendary Great Ball Game. This one has more layers than an 80s hairband and more heart than an octopus. It's a hoot. Our second finalist is Harriet Tells the Truth by Alana K. Arnold and published by Walden Pond Press. In this book, the third in a cozy mystery series, our favorite little reformed pathological liar sets out to discover who's behind a series of poisonings on Marble Island. Is it the piece of work poet staying at her grandmother's B&B, her best friend? It's hilariously satisfying to find out. And then we have The Truth About Fifth Grade by Kim Tomsic and Mark Parisi. This is a dual point of view romp about 2 best friends, Charlotte, Charlie Wilson, and Alex Andropov, who are in a fight. It's fast-paced, packed with illustrations, and oh so funny. Finally, we have The Great Zudini by P.J. Gardner, published by Balzer and Bray. Radar is a fennec fox who has 1 friend, a stuffed rabbit, and 1 goal: global fame. For someone who likes to be called Zudini, though, he's not much at escaping animal sanctuaries until he comes up with the best plan of them all. Or is it? A huge congratulations to all 4 of our finalists. You can now tell people that you are certifiably funny. Honorable mention goes to On a Wing and a Tear by Cynthia Leidick Smith.
Okay, and Cynthia, we would love for you to please say a few words, to unmute yourself and please say a few words. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Henstay friends, Istango, gratitude to you all. I realized today that I joined SBWI in 1995, and so this is my 30th anniversary year, which is so exciting. And this is such a lovely way to celebrate. Thank you for shining a light on humorous books for young readers. We need them more than ever. Laughter is good medicine to heal and nurture our world. Mado, thanks again.
And the winner of the Sid Fleischman Award for Humor goes to, and I'm not lying, Alana K. Arnold. Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations, Alana.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. The last time I was here at this presentation was the year before last when my historical novel, The Blood Years, won a Golden Kite in the YA category. And that book may be many things, but I don't think anyone would call it funny. So it is especially gratifying to see Harriet Tells the Truth honored for its humor. I've always thought I'm funny, and this is my proof. I also want to thank the judges for selecting my book and my fellow funny writers, Cynthia Leidick-Smith, Kim Tomsick, and Mark Parisi, and PJ Gardner. Also, I want to thank Louise Fitzhugh and her marvelous Harriet the Spy, who inspired my very own Harriet. Also, I had no idea Martha was going to be presenting. I want to thank Martha Brokenbrough, my hilarious friend, who hosted me and fed me while I wrote the first draft of Harriet Tells the Truth and read countless more. And also Nina LaCour, a poem of a person who read so many drafts for me in so many of my books and helps me in so many ways. With friends like these, I am the absolute luckiest. Jordan Brown, my editor, and the whole team at HarperCollins who support my work, even as I write such a wide spectrum of stories. Each of us contains multitudes, and my experience at HarperCollins has been fully supportive of all the parts of me. Zung Ho, illustrator, your charming illustrations make my words funnier. I adore how you brought my characters, including Moneypenny and Matzo Ball, to visual life, so thank you. I've been so fortunate to have my career steered by both Ruben Pfeffer and Sarah Crow, two of the absolute best in the business. And of course, my Nana, who introduced me to the joys of a good mystery, and my sweet family, who continually remind me of the mysteries of joy. Thank you all. I am absolutely honored and thrilled.
Congratulations to everyone. But this was so exciting to see because we are live to see all of the winners' expressions. And Alana, that was beautiful. So thank you for that. And so now on to the next category of picture book text. And as we know, writing picture book text may be one of the hardest things to write. It has to be spare, it has to be precise, and it has to say everything. Each word is so important and conveys so much, and it also has to have emotion and a whole narrative arc, all encapsulated in brief text. So to present the winners and the nominees for the picture book test, the finalists, please welcome Helena Khoury. So Helena, would you please unmute and put on your video, which is how we say now, come to the stage in today's world.
Thanks so much, and hello everyone. I'm Helena Khoury, and I am so happy to present the finalists in this category. So the first finalist is The Man Who Didn't Like Animals, written by Deborah Underwood, illustrated by Lei-Wen Pham. It's a wonderful story full of heart and humor, infused with a love of animals and respect for the natural world. A clever and well-written tale that readers will want to experience again and again, and a tale that made this particular reader cry. The next finalist is The One and Only Gugush, written and illustrated by Azadeh Westergaard, a heartfelt tribute to a cultural icon who displayed extraordinary resilience and commitment to her art, even through upheaval and separation. The next finalist is The Night Market, written by Sena Wedlick, illustrated by Brianna Mokadiri Uchendu. An exuberant and joyful adventure through a vibrant night market, readers will savor all the sights, sounds, and smells so vividly described in this lovely story full of fun discoveries. And the last finalist, actually the second to last finalist is Emergency Quarters, written by Carlos Matias, illustrated by Gracie Zhang. a playful story about how a child handles his own independence and makes good day-to-day decisions. It's also a fun tribute to a nearly bygone technology, payphones. And the last wonderful finalist, Small Things Mended, written by Casey W. Robinson, illustrated by Nancy Whitesides. A beautiful story of mending broken objects and forging new friendships, ultimately showing us how to care for our neighbors and our communities, so important nowadays. And the honor title is The Night Market, written by Sana Wedlick, illustrated by Brianna Mokdiri Uchendu. Sana, we invite you to say a few words about this wonderful story.
Oh my goodness. This is such an honor. It's an honor to even be nominated. Thank you so much to the judges and everyone who recognizes this book for what it is. I think I'm most grateful to my wonderful editor, Ann Kelly, and my wonderful agent, Alice, without whom this would not have been possible. My husband, who creates the time and the space for me to work on my art, and my sister, who's always my first reader. So just thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone out there.
And now for the Golden Kite Award, The Man Who Didn't Like Animals, written by Deborah Underwood, illustrated by Leywin Pham. Deborah, we would love to hear from you about your beautiful story.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so very much. This is truly a heart book for me. So I can't tell you how much this means to me. I have many wonderful people to thank, the judges for all their work, my editor, Kate O'Sullivan, the whole team at Clarion, my agent, Erin Murphy, my critique friends, Lissa Guest and Lynn Hazen, and of course, Leywin Pham, whose fabulous illustrations made the book both funnier and more poignant than I could have ever imagined. I didn't actually start out to write an Old MacDonald origin story. It just sort of turned into that when I ended up with a character who had a house suddenly full of animals and a bunch of cranky neighbors, and that just sort of seemed like the logical step. But what I really wanted to do was just explore the idea that we humans tend to make judgments about groups we don't know. But if we meet a member of one of those groups, it can open our hearts and our minds. This happened in my own life with Lydia the turkey, for example. I don't know if you can see her here. Some of you have seen this picture before. But I met her at a farm sanctuary many, many, many years ago. And once you have met a turkey who will come over for hugs and who will sit in your lap for a cuddle and complain strenuously when you try to stand up, I can guarantee you, you will never look at turkeys again. So in the same way. So I want to thank Lydia and all of her farm animal colleagues who opened my own mind and my own heart so many years ago. We are living in, how shall we say, challenging times. I can't think of a more important quality for kids to have today than empathy. And I think that we all know that books and reading foster empathy. So my final thank you is to everyone out there who is helping put books for kids out into the world. You are helping kids walk in other shoes and see the world through more compassionate eyes. And I think that is precisely what we need right now. And I also want to acknowledge all of the other wonderful finalists. I had such a lovely day reading all of their books, and I'm just honored to be among them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
Congratulations. These books already, I need to buy them all. And you can, which I'll explain how later on. And some of them I have seen and read before. So now we move on to the category of picture book illustration, a category near and dear to my heart. Picture book illustration, it is called a picture book, is something that there's such a wide range of ways you can visually interpret a story and bring it to life. But it truly is something that resonates and stays with all of us from very young childhood. And it carries such a weight in the world of illustration. And so this is very exciting, and I'm so excited for you to all hear about these books. I would like to bring on stage/screen, Oge Mora, Dan Yacarino, and Cindy Derby, the judges of this category this year.
It's quite an honor to be asked to be a judge for a category that is absolutely near and dear to my heart. Picture book illustration. We really enjoyed going through the books and just it was a kind of a sort of fun, tough assignment, but we really enjoyed it all. So what I'd like to do right now is talk about the finalists and just two. And the first one I'd like to mention is Joyful Song, A Naming Story. It's illustrated by Susan Gall and written by Leslie and Newman. In Joyful Song, A Naming Story, on his way to his baby sister's naming ceremony, older brother Zachary can barely contain his excitement when neighbors ask his new baby sister's name. In a glowing review, Booklist said, the colorful illustrations add depth and richness to the story, depicting the dynamic diversity of the neighborhood and the love that surrounds the family. It's a really lovely book. The second one is Home in a Lunchbox, illustrated and written by Cherry Moe. In Home in a Lunchbox, recently arrived from Hong Kong, June feels homesick, but once she opens her lunchbox full of dumplings, bao, and bok choy, she realizes that home isn't so far away after all. In a starred review, Publishers Weekly said, in an exceptional debut, Moe deploys digital illustrations that expertly use selective coloring to depict an experience of finding common ground.
And I'll finish up with the next three finalists, which is Rumi, Poet of Joy and Love, written and illustrated by Rasheen Karia, which brings the life and wisdom of the beloved Persian poet to life. And Karia's bold colors and intricate patterns transport readers to 13th century Persia, where young Rumi's love for books, birds, and friendship shaped his journey. It's so beautiful and a deeply heartfelt tribute to a timeless voice. And the fourth finalist is Eloisa's Musical Window by Margarita Engel and illustrated by John Pata, is the vibrant story of a young girl and her family who find joy in music drifting into their home. Pata's illustrations are rich with rhythm and warmth and capture the melodies that fill Eloisa's world. And it's just this beautifully conveys the music's power to uplift, heal, and bring a community together. And the last finalist is the one and only Gagouche, which is written and illustrated by Azadeh Westergaard. And it's a tribute to one of Iran's most iconic artists. Westergaard's intricate collage illustration crafted from tea-dyed paper, hand-carved block prints, and cardboard breathes life into Gouche's journey from childhood performances to her legendary status. It's an emotional, beautiful tribute to a cultural icon and the longing for a homeland left behind. And now I'm going to pass on the mic to Oge. So to tell us who the honor is and who's the winner.
I have the amazing honor of announcing our honor winner and our medal winner. But before I do all of that, I just want to say my fellow committee members and I are on awe of the amazing illustration at SUWI community. The overwhelming talent of our peers made this process so difficult, but it was also this amazing opportunity to celebrate this just beautiful, beautiful work that is a part of our community. And so it was so interesting working alongside Dan and Cindy as we poured over every book, and we just reminded me that we might come from different walks of life and use different mediums and write different stories, but our love of craft, of narrative, of our enduring belief of the magic of picture books, these will be the things that will always unite us. And so I was just so honored to create alongside them. I'm so honored to create alongside you. And I'm so honored to now announce our honor winner. And so our 2025 Golden Knight honor winner in picture book art goes to Eloisa's Musical Window written by Margarita Engel and illustrated by John Para.
Oh, wow. Can you guys hear me? Sorry. Thank you so much. And this is kind of unexpected. And but I'm so grateful. I'm so glad. I was just thinking just now that a few years ago, I was at the in-person SCBWI conference over the summer, sitting next to Margarita Engel many years ago, and thinking, oh my God, it'd be so wonderful uh, that I would get to
Okay, I
do
will.
a book with her one day. And flash forward just up until 2 years ago when we started this process, I had received the manuscript and I saw the author's name, and of course it was absolutely yes, 100%. Getting to work on this book was a lifelong dream to work and collaborate with Margarita. Also, the story is about music and about not just music in musical terms, but also the sounds of the street, the sounds of your community, the sounds of people's voices, and how that could contribute to your life and happiness. And the other side of the story is also dealing with the mother who was sick in the story, and how also music can be a very therapeutic way to heal oneself. Gonna be real short about this. I just want to say thank you to everybody at Simon and Schuster, especially the editor Rika Simonson, and to my art director Deborah Specios, I'm sorry, and my agent Adriana Dominguez at Avitas Creative. Of course, everybody at SCBWI. It's such a huge honor to be among you guys, and then in my family, of course. I love you guys so much, and thank you. This is incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And now I have the amazing honor to announce our 2025 Golden Kite Medal winner in picture book art goes to the one and only Gagoosh, illustrated by Azadeh Westergaard.
I'm going to start crying before I even start. Can you hear me? Uh, Thank you so much. Really wasn't expecting this. It's a true honor, and I just want you to know I just love picture books so much, and it's been my dream for 25 years to illustrate and write a picture book. So to get this honor from my peers is just truly tremendous, and I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you for the first readers of this book, my dear friend Emily Burak, and my dear husband Kermit, who's my greatest supporter and most enthusiastic advocate for this story. To my boys, Jaden, Felix, and Charlie, my parents, my agent, Alyssa Eisner Henkin, and to Viking Books, especially to my editor, Tamar Brazes, and art director, Opal Leung Chai, who I feel so incredibly lucky to work with. I first joined SCBWI in 2000, the year 2000, to attend the annual LA conference. And that weekend cemented my dream of wanting to write and illustrate books. And it took me 25 years to make that dream a reality, which is why I'm going to start crying again. Growing up Iranian American in suburban Virginia, this resident alien, as noted on my green card at the time, didn't see herself reflected in books. As a consequence of the 1979 revolution and the subsequent Iran hostage crisis, it was never a good time to be of Iranian descent in the United States. And the media narrative about Iran and its people has often been unflattering, terror-inducing, and most importantly, not the whole picture. So it's probably not surprising that growing up, I did everything I could to tuck my Persian identity under the proverbial Persian rug. And instead, like so many immigrants, I searched for glimpses of myself in adjacent stories. I identified with Peter in The Snowy Day and found comfort in Jhumpa Lahiri's stories about Indian American households. And when I began to take writing seriously, I knew one thing was for certain: I was not going to write about Iranian themes. I was only 7 years old when I moved to America, so I didn't think I had anything to offer about Iranian culture. Gonna wrap it up. The One and Only Gugush began as a picture book about a beloved living legend, but a revolution as a great equalizer. And through my research, it became clear that Gugush's story was inextricably entwined with the story of the Iranian people. And that's the story that I wanted to tell. And I'm truly grateful for this book because it lifted me out from under that rug and connected me to a rich history that I now fully embrace, an incredible Iranian American community that I didn't even realize I was missing so much, and a cultural heritage that I'm deeply proud of. With Women's History Month around the corner, I dedicate this award to the women of the world, especially to the brave women of Iran who have to fight for basic human rights to sing, dance, and dress as they wish. And to the artists and writers out there with book dreams of your own, be patient. Look at me, it took 25 years. I keep a quote of Sister Karita Kent on my studio wall. Nothing is a mistake. There's no win and no fail. There's only make. So make, trust the process, throw out your erasers, embrace the messy edges, and listen to that voice within that tells you to write the stories that you want to tell. Thank you so much again.
And thank you, Azadeh. I think that was beautiful. And I think that is a real testament to how powerful it is to put our truths about ourselves into our books, because that comes through and children need that. And thank you so much for that. All of these speeches are so beautiful. We get a glimpse of what goes into a little glimpse of what goes into the books we're celebrating tonight. And so now we will move on to the next category, nonfiction text for younger readers. And with nonfiction texts, we've seen so many different types of stories being told. The finalists have such a variety of amazing stories that we see, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. So I want to invite the jury for the nonfiction text for younger readers and the nonfiction text for older readers, which will come after that, onto the screen stage. Michelle Markle, Don Tate, and Rebecca Donnelly. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Don Tate, and I will begin by introducing the finalists for the Nonfiction for Young Readers category. In no particular order, and I just want to begin by also saying thank you, authors, for writing these dynamic stories. Ida B. Wells' Marches for the Vote by Dinah Johnson, illustrated by Jerry Jordan, and published by Little, Brown and Company. A book for our times that mirror a time in this country when life was not fair for everyone. Johnson provides an unflinching account of the life of activist Ida B. Wells, dedicated to doing the right thing, caring for family, fighting injustice, and confronting racism. Johnson's narrative is brave, it's bold, honest, and tragic, yet it ends joyfully, emphasizing the importance of fighting for equality. The Painter and the President by Sarah Albee, illustrated by Stacy Innerts, and published by Calkins Creek Astra Books for Young Readers. Ever wonder how the image of the President George Washington ended up on the dollar bill? No? Well, me either. But Albee provides an entertaining answer to this unasked question. This laugh out loud text focuses on a painter with a prickly personality, a tired and sometimes grumpy old president, and the famous portrait that resulted from this important historical moment.
I'm going to announce the next three finalists. Comet Chaser, the true Cinderella story of Caroline Herschel, the first professional woman astronomer, by Pamela S. Turner, illustrated by Vivian Mildenberger. Expertly blending science, women's history, and poetic language, this biography of Caroline Herschel is a sparkling tribute to following one's dreams. The next finalist is Fighting with Love, the Legacy of John Lewis, by Lisa Klein Ransom, illustrated by James E. Ransom. With well-chosen, vivid description, This book tells the emotional journey of John Lewis as he becomes involved in the nonviolent civil rights movement, providing readers with a role model of astonishing courage in the face of racism and injustice, a story with resonance in this moment. And the last finalist is One Day This Tree Will Fall by Leslie Barnard Booth, illustrated by Stephanie Pfizer Coleman. Lively, lyrical, and suspenseful, this book chronicles the life cycle of a Douglas fir, which nurtures many animals, insects, fungi, and bacteria as it ages. It's awe-inspiring. Congratulations to all the finalists. I'm so honored to be part of this inclusive community and to move on to announce the medalists. The honor book is Comet Chaser by Pamela Turner. Pamela, we invite you to say a few words.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the judges because I have been a Golden Kite judge and I know how hard this is, and I really appreciate all your hard work. And also a big shout out to the other finalists, Lisa, hi, and everybody else. It's really an honor to be on this list with you. I'd like to thank Vivian Mildenberger, the illustrator, and my wonderful editor, Melissa Manlove. But most of all, I would like to thank Deborah Underwood. And you all probably noticed that Deborah just won the Golden Kite Award for picture book text. And I'd like to thank her because she and I met years ago. We were paired up in a SCBWI kind of sponsored critique group. And she critiqued a very early, the very first versions of Comet Chaser, which sold. And then the editor there, she left the publishing house and Comet Chaser got killed. And I put Comet Chaser back in a drawer. And I was just kind of discouraged and I just moved on to other projects. And one day Deborah said to me, "Oh, whatever happened to Comet Chaser? You know, I really liked Comet Chaser." And so as I go, okay, Deborah liked it, I'll give it another try. So I pulled it out of the drawer and I sent it around again, and it sold to Melissa Manlove, and now it's out in the world. So I just want to say thank you to Deborah. And I also just want to say thank you to SCBWI because I think it's a tribute to the community that we build here. Thank you so much.
Okay, here it is. The Golden Kite Award for Nonfiction Text for Younger Readers goes to Ida B. Wells, Marches for the Vote by Dinah Johnson. Congratulations, Dinah. Would you like to share a few words?
Oh my goodness, I'm truly surprised, and I'm truly honored that Ida B. Wells Marches for the Vote is being recognized by SCBWI alongside these other wonderful books and authors. This story is especially important at this historical moment when we must all be concerned about election integrity and sadly about access to the ballot box. The Women's March of 1913 is the central event of the book and makes an impression on young students when I tell them that the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was enacted on August 6th of that year, my 5th birthday. They begin to understand how short American history is and how what we consider historical events have an impact on our everyday lives. I'm pleased if the book makes even one child think deeply about the importance of voting and civic engagement. I want to thank Allison Helligers of Stamola Literary Studio. I can't imagine a more wonderful agent. And I offer my heartfelt thanks to Christy Ottaviano and her entire team. It was Christy who asked me to write a story about Black American women and suffrage. So this book wouldn't have been created if not for Christy. And I want to thank Jerry Jordan, who marched powerfully into the world of picture book illustration with our collaboration. My deep thanks to historian Dr. Wanda Hendricks for her expertise and encouragement, and to my writing group for their priceless critiques. Finally, I want to thank my daughter, Niani Feelings, for being the woman she is, And I want to honor the memory of my parents, Douglas and Beatrice, who embodied the spirit of Ida B. Wells through their tireless decades of civic engagement. I spent this morning at an elementary school, so I have to shout out to the teachers and children who welcome all of us as writers into their inspiring classrooms. And just lastly, thank you, Golden Kite Awards Committee. I am truly honored. Surprise. Thank you.
Congratulations to the winners. Don Tate again. Now I'll be introducing two of the finalists for the nonfiction for older readers category. Again, in no particular order. Spirit Sleuths, How Magicians and Detectives Exposed the Ghost Hoaxes by Gail Jarrow, published by Calkins Creek. With skillful narrative pacing and an eye for intriguing detail, Spirit Sleuth takes the reader behind the scenes in this epic clash between spiritualism and science, bringing to light the age-old human capacity both to deceive and to root out deception. Uprooted by Ruth Chan, published by Rowing Book Press, a division of Macmillan Children's Books. Using humor and empathy, this graphic memoir deftly blends the experiences of young Ruth adjusting to life in Hong Kong with a poignant family story that touches on the evergreen themes of belonging, friendship, and knowing who you are.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Donnelly. I'm going to introduce the three remaining finalists, and then I'll be announcing the honor title and the winner title. So again, in no particular order. Virus Hunters, How Science Protects People When Outbreaks and Pandemics Strike by Amy Cherricks, published by HarperCollins Children's Books. Packed with all the real-life drama of cutting-edge, life-saving science, Virus Hunters takes the reader on a gripping journey from plagues of the past to the recent COVID pandemic, telling the stories of the heroes who work behind the scenes to contain and cure deadly diseases. From the Ashes, Edward J. Song Lee, Latasha Harlins, Rodney King, and A City on Fire by Paula Yu, published by Norton Young Readers. Nuanced and densely researched, Rising from the Ashes uses a journalist's sense of humanity and drive for truth to explore and connect each piece of this complex, often misunderstood piece of recent American history. And The Gender Binary is a Big Lie, Infinite Identities Around the World by Lee Wind, published by Zest Books. The Gender Binary is a Big Lie explodes gender myths with curiosity, heart, and plenty of well-researched examples through a variety of times and cultures, making the point that gender identity is far more complex than it's sometimes presented, and that it is always valid. It's been a truly amazing experience to be on this committee. I'd like to thank Dawn and Michelle for your hard work. And it is my great honor to announce the honor title for the Golden Kite for nonfiction text for older readers. Uprooted by Ruth Chan. Ruth, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, judges. This is so exciting. When I was starting off writing this memoir, originally I wanted to write a story about my father's birth, which is in the book. And my agent, Rebecca Sherman, convinced me to include my own story in the book, which is how it ended up being about me. And in writing the book, I feel like a lot of times when we make our own books, we have this idea of what it's going to be, and then we sort of like execute it. And for me, this book was really a journey in realizing like, oh, my story also matters. And so I realized like for this book, I hope that anybody who reads it, and the mission of this book is that anybody who reads it, they realize that their story also matters, no matter what their experience is, that they realize that their experience matters, who they are matters. And so, it's an honor for 13-year-old me who had crushes on boys and moved across the world to Hong Kong to be recognized in nonfiction text. So thank you so much. And thank you to the judges. Thank you to SCBWI, who I got my first big break in children's books back in 2014. Thank you to my editor, Connie Sue at Roaring Brook, to my agent, Rebecca Sherman, to my husband, Jeff, who gave me a lot of leeway and time and space to make this graphic novel. And thank you also to my family and my friends for letting me put them in a book, which is a lot.
All right, and now to announce the winner of the Golden Kite Award for Nonfiction Text for Older Readers, Rising from the Ashes, Los Angeles, 1992, Edward J. Song Lee, Latasha Harlins, Rodney King, and A City on Fire by Paula Yu. What a remarkable book. Paula, would you like to say something?
Thank you so much. And in Korean, that's 감사합니다. I'm just going to say a few words. My dad, Young Sik Yu, was 21 years old when he arrived in America on June 24th, 1960. He was among the first Korean immigrants to attend Tennessee Tech University, known back then as Tennessee Polytech Institute, where he majored in mechanical engineering. Despite being one of the very few non-white people in Cookeville, Tennessee in 1960, my dad had no problem making friends. He was featured in a story in the Tennessee Tech Oracle newspaper with the headline, Oriental Student Impressed by Tech's Differences. My dad talked about his love for kimchi and rice and how the pagoda-style roof of the Cookeville Railroad Depot, built in 1909, reminded him of his family's house in Korea and made him feel homesick. When my uncle was also accepted as an engineering student at Tennessee Tech, my dad gave him a tour of Cookeville after he arrived. When they visited the town's movie theater, my dad warned him about the strange bathrooms. They had two different doors. Your daddy told me if you go anywhere, they have two signs, my uncle remembered, white only and colored only. We didn't know which door to go through. Because of those doors, my dad made sure that my younger brother David, also a writer, and I never had to make that choice. My dad's embrace of a diverse America is what inspired me to write Rising from the Ashes from the point of view of three families whose lives would be inextricably intertwined. A 25-year-old Black man named Rodney King, whose brutal beating by the LAPD was seen all over the world in the first ever viral video of police brutality. Latasha Harlins, a 15-year-old Black teenage girl who was shot and killed in a dispute over shoplifting by a Korean-American store owner, only to be found clutching the $2 for a bottle of orange juice in her hand. And Edward J. Song Lee, a Korean-American man who was accidentally shot and killed in the crossfire while trying to protect a store during the first night of civil unrest, ironically by a Korean store owner, just 2 weeks before his 19th birthday. My book is a love letter of solidarity for both our Korean American and Black American communities, in which I examine our complex history and how we can continue to bridge our communities together with allyship, solidarity, friendship, and love. It was an honor to interview the families of Edward, Latasha, and Rodney, along with over 100 sources from my book. I was deeply moved and inspired by their courage, resilience, and ultimately compassion. I'm grateful to have forged lifelong friendships with the Lees, Harlins, and King families. I recently bought this candle. Oops, here we go. I'm going to show it to you. I just bought this candle that was made by Latasha Harlan's cousin, Shanice, who started her business with the help of a business incubator program at a Korean American church to show you how love and solidarity arose from the ashes of the fires in Los Angeles in 1992. It is also a privilege to be amongst the company of authors and friends whose works I greatly admire. Gail Jarrow, Lee Wind, Ruth Chan, and Amy Cherricks. Thank you to my editors, Simon Botten and Kristen Allard, and publicists Naomi Duttweiler, Golda Rademacher, and Laura Starr at Norton Young Readers, my agent, Tricia Lawrence, and the Erin Murphy Literary Agency. And thank you to my family and my husband, Kyle, and our three cats, Oreo, Beethoven, and Charlotte. Let's see. Oreo, gotta just bring you so you can say, here's Oreo. And he says thank you as well. And finally, much gratitude to the Society of Children Book Writers and Illustrators for this honor. I appreciate your support and education over the years, ever since I joined SCBWI as a member and aspiring author in 1998. Let us continue to fight for more diversity, equity, and inclusion in children's literature, and especially in our nonfiction books, because not only does representation matter, but so does solidarity, understanding, respect, and love. Now let's get to work. 감사합니다.
That was very inspiring. And also, I have to say, if we can't have Beyonce, at least we got Oreo. So, see, we did have a special surprise guest after all. And so now I'd like to move on to the next category, which is middle grade fiction. And to not have any more time before we find out who the winners are, please welcome the judges for this category, the judge for this category, Doug Cornett, Matt Smith, and Jacqueline West. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. I'm so incredibly inspired to be here tonight with Oreo and with all of you creative people. And it's my pleasure to introduce the category of middle grade fiction. From international spy dramas to haunting ghost stories to earnest tales of friendship and coming of age in small towns, these books took us to places that felt both new and familiar. After reading thousands upon thousands of pages, we feel confident in saying that middle grade is flourishing. And now we'd like to introduce the 5 finalists. Finn and Ezra's Bar Mitzvah Time Loop by Joshua Levy takes the reader on a time-bending, soul-searching adventure of friendship, family, and spirituality. As Finn and Ezra get stuck in time on the weekend of their bar mitzvah, I didn't want the book to end. And in the spirit of the story, after I read the last word, I started it right back over again.
And it is my honor to talk about A Two-Placed Heart by Dawn Phuong Nguyen. In this fictionalized memoir in verse, an older sister tells a younger one their shared story about their home and relatives in Vietnam, about the famine and political repression that compelled them to leave, and about their journey as immigrants to a new home in the US. It's a book about memory, family, and identity, woven together with poignant detail and extraordinary skill. Our next finalist is The Other Side of Tomorrow, words by Tina Cho and art by Deb J.J. Lee. With spare, beautiful language and luminous imagery, this graphic novel tells the story of 2 children whose lives and histories intertwine as they escape the violent dictatorship of North Korea. Not only is it impossible to put down, but this book has at its heart an ember of hope for humanity that feels like a gift.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to tell you about the next 2 nominees. The Bletchley Riddle by Ruta Sepetys and Steve Shankin. This thrilling historical adventure follows 2 siblings at Bletchley Park, the home of World War II codebreakers, as they try to unravel a mystery surrounding their mother's disappearance. In a time when it's become cool to root for the bad guy, this novel gives young readers wonderfully quirky, old-fashioned, unforgettable heroes to root for. Next is The Deadly Daylight by Ash Harrier. 12-year-old Alice England finds refuge at her father's funeral home, where the dead tell her stories. Young readers get not only a brilliant mystery and a gang of quirky detectives, but captivating, first-rate sentences that remind us why books have always been and will continue to be one-of-a-kind treasures for the living. Congrats, Ash, and all of the nominees.
And now it is my pleasure to announce the Golden Kite Honor Book for middle grade fiction, The Bletchley Riddle by Ruta Sepetys and Steve Shankin. Ruta and Steve, I'm not sure if you're here, but if you are, you're welcome to say a few words.
Yeah, nice. Thank you so much. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, Ruta, I've been in SCBWI starting in New York City and then upstate in Eastern New York for 20 plus years. Definitely the pre-published days. How about
Same.
you?
Same with me. Big shout out to my Mid-South SCBWI region that's responsible for helping me find an agent, get published, get my writing group right. And now, look,
two fellow SCBWI members being honored. This is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It really is an amazing, it means so much. This one in particular. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's been a part of this journey for so many of us, but Ruta and I especially. I mean, in particular.
I know we're old guard, I guess, and we
guard.
want
Yeah,
to thank
yeah. I think that's
we want to
true.
thank our publisher Viking, our editor Kelsey Murphy, and Penguin Young Readers Group, and of course all of the SCBWI members. This is incredible.
Yes, thank you to all of you.
All right, and I get the joy of announcing our winner. The Golden Kite Award for middle grade literature goes to The Other Side of Tomorrow by Tina Cho.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. This is my first middle grade book, so I have a big list of thank yous. Thank you to the judges, fellow nominees Ruta, Ash, Joshua, and Don. To SBWI, I've been a member for many years here in the States and abroad. Thank you to my husband, Jagan Cho, who took our family to South Korea to live. Without that experience, my books would not exist. To my children, Anna and Isaac, who read this story years ago, gave it a thumbs up. Of course, to Deb J.J. Lee, the phenomenal illustrator whose gorgeous illustrations make each page a work of art. To Adria Getz, my wonderful agent who came alongside this story. She wouldn't even let me give up. She believed in this manuscript. I'm so nervous. To Carolina Ortiz, my terrific editor who had a vision for something even greater, a graphic novel. Of course, to the HarperCollins team, especially Harper Alley, so many of you have done behind the scenes work to bring this book to life. Even to Leonard Marcus, the picture book historian and author. He was a judge at the Asian Festival of Children's Content in Singapore, and he saw merit in this early story, placing it first runner-up or second place in the Scholastic Asia contest a long time ago. To Nancy I. Sanders, who mentored me since I was a beginning writer in California. To my Pens and Brushes critique group, who critiqued the beginnings of this story. It was a picture book and then realized it should be something more, a novel. To my other two critique groups, the international group and the nonfiction group, you helped me sharpen my craft of writing. I wouldn't be here without you. To the North Korean sensitivity reader, you know who you are. Thank you for making sure all the facts and cultural details were correct. To my North Korean friends and contacts, thank you for answering my unending questions. Even to Major Peter Artichout, who helped me plan the breakout of prison plot. You'll find out when you read the book. To my former students who are now reading this book, thank you for supporting my work. To my current kindergarten students who are too young to read this book, thank you for listening to me when I share good news about my writing. I love teaching you how to write. To God, who gave me a passion for the North Korean people and who helps me with my writing. To the helpers of the Asian Underground Railroad, even though you are undercover, your work is felt and each life makes you a hero that you save. Even though this story was conceived in 2012, when I first heard about North Korean refugees while living in Seoul and interviewed two North Korean boys and a mastermind behind some escapes. The events and details in this book are still the same today. Kim Jong-un still represses the people in this communist country. Many North Koreans are still starving and trying to escape or hiding in China because China will repatriate them if they are caught, and many of them who are suffering are children. Writing The Other Side of Tomorrow opened my eyes to the atrocities of the North Korean government. From living in South Korea for 10 years, I've experienced fear from Kim Jong-un as he threatened the South, but neither I nor anyone else can ever truly understand the fear, hunger, and violence that North Korean citizens who live under his regime endure every day. So through writing this book, I've met many wonderful and kind North Korean refugees and aid workers. In listening to their stories, I am forever grateful to God that He has kept them safe and that His many blessings have given me the chance to share their journeys with you through my characters, Myung-hee and Yenho. At this very moment, many North Korean kids, as well as children around the world, are hungry and hurting, trying to cross borders or living in hiding. I hope Myung-hee's and Yenho's journeys spur you to action to help those in need around you. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really can't believe this is happening.
Congratulations, Tina.
Thank you.
Wow. Uh, it again, these books are so important in the world. And I have to say, we have so many SCBWI success stories. I love that so many of you are sharing your journeys, and it is inspirational, I think, for all of us. So thank you. I should also just mention that congratulations to Ruta Sepetys as well. Ruta is a wonderful volunteer member of the SCBWI Advisory Council. So I wanted to mention that the rules state that should any SCBWI member of the Advisory Council win a Golden Kite Award, they will donate their prize money to a nonprofit organization of their choice. So we look forward to hearing what lucky organization Ruta will donate her prize money to. And so now we shall move on to the next category, which is for illustrated book graphic novel. And this includes all kinds of illustrated books, not just graphic novels, but for older readers. And so I'd like to welcome the judge for this category, Cecil Castellucci.
I was so honored to be one of the judges for Golden Kite Illustrated Book for Older Readers. Like Laurent said, it really runs the gamut, in age ranges, nonfiction, fiction, everything. And we were so delighted to read all of these books. I want to give a shout out to my co-judges, Laura Gao and Cherie Miller. And thank you to everybody who submitted a book. So our wonderful finalists are Uprooted, a memoir about what happens when your family moves back by Ruth Chan, Roaring Book Press. We were delighted by this charming and beautifully drawn memoir by Ruth Chan in the telling of the tale of her move from Toronto to Hong Kong when she was young and comes to understand how to navigate change and find her inner strength through the stories of grit and survival as she hears about her own family and discovers that home is where the heart is. Fake Chinese Sounds by Jingjing Song, Kokila, through beautiful abstract drawings highlighting the deep feelings that Mei Ying feels as she learns to reclaim her identity and her voice. Song tells the story of one hard summer in middle school where Mei learns how to communicate with her visiting Nene through cooking. She understands her serious mother, plays soccer, and deals with bullying and racism. The Monkey King and the World of Myths, The Monster and the Maze by Maple Lamb, Penguin. What a joy to run through mythological worlds when the Monkey King goes after a forgotten evil that is determined to transform everyone into monsters. He's been promised by the gods that if he defeats it, he'll become a god himself. First, he goes to Greece, where he weaves his way through a whole bunch of familiar Greek myths in this fun romp that blends stories for a thrilling adventure. Rover and Speck, It's a Gas by Jonathan Roth, Kids Can Press. Colorful, funny, educational. This book for younger readers enchanted us as we rolled and learned about true friendship, collaboration, outer space, and gas giants with Rover and Speck, a mismatched pair of traveling friends. Meet Me on Mercer Street by Bookie Vivat, Scholastic. We were so impressed with this hybrid prose comics story that tells the story of Casey, an aspiring artist who observes tension and changes in her neighborhood when she comes back from a summer vacation. Her friend is missing, the adults are whispering, and a new chain store is taking over a beloved neighborhood staple. A clever and touching story about the history of a neighborhood and its subsequent gentrification. Wagnificent by Bethany Murgaya, Roaring Brook Press. In this endearing story told from the point of view of Thunder the dog, who is torn between his inner wolf and being a good dog for his favorite human sage, the story shows the enduring friendship between human and pet who grow to understand each other through love. Congratulations to all of the finalists. And now I will give you the name of the honor. Our honor book is Meet Me on Mercer Street by Bookie Vivat. Bookie, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, I need to compose myself. So, I know we're told not to, care about external validation or praise, and that, we're like doing the work for the kids and for the love of the craft. And I think those things are all true, but it just does feel really good to have this book and the work that went into this book acknowledged, especially by a group of fellow writers and illustrators who sort of uniquely know everything that goes into making one of these things. Like all the fears, all the doubts, all the drafts, all the ups and downs, late nights, all the feelings that, sort of go into putting yourself on the page and sort of then setting it free into the world. So I'm really shocked and just really grateful to be honored alongside so many like talented finalists, and to be chosen by like this amazing awards committee in this category. And I also just wanted to say that like writing Meet Me on Mercer Street was really challenging, but it also felt like a challenge to my characters, to my readers, and then ultimately just to myself, to not only look beyond what we think we know about the world around us, but to like sort of lean into community when it comes to building the kind of world that we want to see. And so I just feel really lucky to get to make books for kids and to be in community with all of you. So also like shout out to my agent, Steve Malk, who's the best, and my editor, Jenny Abramowitz, and just the whole Scholastic team for helping me bring this book to life. And of course, thank you to all of you at SCBWI for seeing me and for seeing my work. This is awesome.
Thank you, Bookie. And now to announce the winner for the Golden Kite illustrated book for older readers is me, and I will announce that it is Uprooted, a memoir about what happens when your family moves back by Ruth Chan.
Oh man. I can hear my parents downstairs with my daughter applauding. Oh man, I already blew all my notes on the first speech, but wow, thank you. And thank you to SCBWI. This is amazing. So in 2013, I came to an SCBWI winter conference wanting to get into children's books and not knowing anything. And I left the conference completely overwhelmed and feeling like I didn't know anything. And then I came back in 2014 even more determined, and I put in my portfolio into the portfolio review, and that is where I got my big break. My agent Rebecca Sherman found me along with some others. I found like lifelong friends at the conference that I'm still so close with, Mike Curato, Misa Saburi, everybody. And I feel like I've really found my family here at SCBWI. And so I want to thank you so much for having me as part of the community here, and to all of the other illustrators that were in this category. Congrats to you, because we all know that it's hard to make an illustrated book for older readers. Many of us have sat in the dark very, very long hours listening to whatever music or watching many, many movies or TV shows, many of which we've seen multiple times, like the Gilmore Girls, or crisis texting our critique groups or our friends or our editors or our agents, or setting timers to stretch our necks so that we don't have to go to PT because some of us might not have insurance, or journaling or going to therapy. It is a lot of work. And so, congrats to all of you guys. It is no small feat to create a book. And this is by far the hardest project I've ever done, besides maybe having a baby, but one that I am most proud of. And so, I can't believe that we do this, and I can't believe that we do this more than once sometimes. So anyway, again, I wanted to thank my agent Rebecca Sherman and her assistants Andrea Morrison and Laura Gruska that really went through early drafts with me. My editor Connie Sue and her assistant Nico Origrian. Art director Kirk Benshoff, who is the most organized art director. Love working with him. Our designer Sunny Lee, all of the marketing and publicity team at Roaring Brook and Macmillan. Again, my husband Jeff, I cannot say enough about how giving and generous he's been with just giving me all that I need to make this book. My family and my friends for letting me put them in a book again. Um, I really want to take this time to thank my mom and dad, who again are listening downstairs, for being so open for me to share our story and to be willing to have that vulnerability of our family for all these people to read. And finally, I want to thank, my grandmother and my ancestors for instilling in the Chan family the values of patience and courage and perseverance, um, which it took to make this book, but also values that I hope all young readers can learn um, that they also have in reading this book, and adults as well. So thank you all so much.
And thank you, Ruth. Thank you for your honesty, because that's what all of these books show and how important honesty is for kids. And congrats to your parents too, who are watching on Ruth. So thank you. And so now we will move on to our last category, which is young adult fiction. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome on stage Lisa Weimer and Pamela Harris to present the awards.
Hello, my name is Lisa Weimer, and on behalf of myself and Jennifer De Leon and Pamela Harris, we are here today to share with you the YA nominees and the honor and winner of the Golden Kite Award. To get started, I am thrilled to present our first nominee, which is Stacy Lee and her book, Kill Her Twice. This is a phenomenal book set in 1932 in Chinatown near LA. This is truly an edge-of-the-seat murder mystery. Our next nominee is a book called Trajectory by Cambria Gordon. And Trajectory is about a 17-year-old girl named Eleanor living in Philadelphia. This is a book that honors STEM in the most beautiful way and shows how one person makes a tremendous difference on society. Now to Pam.
Okay, so up next we have the breakup list. In the breakup list, Adib Khorram tells a heartwarming coming-of-age story filled with theater kids, love triangles, and authentic queer and deaf representation. The breakup list is a beautifully crafted novel that proves Khorram is a master of capturing the messy, magical journey of growing up. Next, we have Girls Like Her. Melanie Sumrall delivers a raw and unflinching portrait of a teen girl fighting for her freedom. Sumrall crafts a gripping and emotionally charged mystery that challenges perceptions of guilt, justice, and who gets to have their story told. Girls Like Her is an unforgettable novel that demands to be heard. And finally, we have Sink by Ellen Hopkins. In Sync, Ellen Hopkins delivers a gut-wrenching, beautifully crafted novel in verse about the unbreakable bond between twins torn apart by the foster care system. With its searing prose, dual perspectives, and unflinching look at love, trauma, and resilience, Sync is a heartbreaking and unforgettable testament to the power of family, even when distance and circumstance try to break it apart.
And the honor goes to Stacy Lee's Kill Her Twice.
Stacy, why don't you please share some words with us? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a pleasure and an honor. I feel honored to be in the company of my fellow nominees, Adib, Cambria, Melanie, Ellen. Thank you so much, SCBWI, and to the judges. I'm grateful for the work you continue to do lifting up books, especially the ones with the invisible characters, like three girls from 1932 Los Angeles Chinatown just trying to solve a murder and claim their spot in the world. I'm from a family of three girls. I grew up in Los Angeles. And to think that I could pay tribute to our experience by writing a book about three Los Angeles sisters. No, we didn't have to solve any murders to do it. And to have it nominated for the Golden Kite really just blows my mind. Many thanks to my publisher, Penguin, my editor, Stephanie Pitts, my agent, Kristen Nelson, for helping me bring this book to life. And of course, my parents who still live in Los Angeles. My dad is 90 this year. In the house I grew up in, who continue to inspire me every day. So thank you.
Casey. Now, finally, the winner of the Golden Kite for young adult fiction is Girls Like Her by Melanie Sumrow.
Thank you so much. I'm so shocked. Thank you to SCBWI, the Golden Kite Award Committee, and to my fellow nominees. I'm truly humbled to be included among all of you. Thank you to my support system, my family, and my writing community, especially my Hamlin Impact writing community. This book would not exist without my supportive HarperCollins team or my fantastic editor, Jordan Brown, who immediately saw what I was hoping to accomplish with Ruby's story and helped make it so much richer with his wise counsel. As a formerly practicing lawyer, I had been trained to numb myself to the facts of my cases so I could focus on applying the law. It's a means of survival in a profession that deals intimately with the worst atrocities one human can inflict upon another. In my work, I reviewed criminal cases involving murders, robberies, drug offenses, and more. But I was most disturbed by the overwhelming number of cases on my docket involving sex crimes against children and teens. It wasn't long into my practice before I realized I wasn't numb, not really. I was just merely filing these horrific and heartbreaking cases somewhere in the back of my brain. Only after I left the legal profession did I realize how many of these stories I was still carrying. I suppose that's one of the reasons why it was so important for me to tell the fictional story of Ruby Monroe. It was sparked by the real stories of assault, abuse, neglect, and manipulation that were still inside of me. As I leaned on my legal experience in telling Ruby's story, I also had to come to grips with the fact that the justice system in our country is not always just. Our laws have been slow to safeguard these kids, and a poor girl with a poor reputation, whether deserved or not, will almost always be at a disadvantage. The structures we have in place often fail to recognize and insulate girls like Ruby. Instead of punishing the men who buy sex, it is often these girls upon whom blame is placed. We send them to jail or return them to abusive homes or send them back to the streets, literally leaving them for dead. All because of a system that's not built to listen to them or to understand the truths of their experiences. Through Girls Like Her, I aim to honor these children and teens that are so often erased or overlooked and then re-traumatized by the very system that claims to protect them. My hope is that Ruby's story helps these kids feel seen. Thank you all for being a part of that hope.
Thank you, Melanie. And thank you for your honesty too. I'm very deeply moved by what you said. And I think it also shows how your book and all of the books that have won tonight, all the finalists' books, will change the world. They truly will. And that is so much of what we do when we create these books and stories. I really am so moved. So I thank everyone. Congratulations to all the winners in Lover Klimt. Congratulations to all the winners. And I'm so excited that your books get this attention in the world so that they can get into the hands of readers who need them. I want to say there is a virtual after party for SCBWI members. And it goes from, well, it starts in 5 minutes. It goes from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in Pacific time, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And if you don't have the link, members, you can find the link in your member homepage on the SCBW website under My Resources. I just want to say, organizing the submissions, inviting the judges, and orchestrating all aspects of these awards takes an enormous amount of effort. So thank you to the full SCBWI staff and all those who contributed their time and talents to make these important awards a reality. It really does make a difference in profound ways, and we've heard so much of that tonight, I think, in our speeches too. And also, I hope you all are inspired to read all of these finalist books, and you can do that because you can purchase books of the Golden Kite Awards finalists on the SCBWA page of bookshop.org, as you can see right here on the screen. So please do, and as we know, bookshop.org does support independent bookstores. However, buy the books however you would like, because they would make great reads for you and for your gifts and gifts for others. So thank you again. And I hope this has been inspiring for you all. And please go write and illustrate because we need to hear your stories. Thank you.